like keeping people waiting.
Okay. Are you able to run it now, Ms. Alderwoman Boyd, or you want me to run? What's going on?
Please run it because I'm on my phone.
All right. Okay. STL TV, I guess we can crank it up.
It started. You can go.
All right. Thank you very much. We will call to order the Health and Human Development Committee hearing for Thursday, June 20th, 2024. Or please call the roll.
Alderman Varner,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Present.
Alderwoman Sanier, Chair Boyd,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Sanier. We have 3 present.
All right. We will skip over line item 3 and go to line item 4, board bills for review. And item number 1 there is board bill number 36, introduced by Alderwoman Kara Spencer. Is Alderwoman Spencer with us?
No, I do not see her on here.
All right.
Chair Palmer.
Yes.
I think with having 3 present, we do have a quorum. If you
Yeah, I thought we did. Yeah, I was.
They said
But we actually have 4 present now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we have 4.
So with that, I'll move for approval of the minutes from Thursday, May 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Or please call the roll.
Alderman Varner,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanier,
Aye.
Chair Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus. We have 4 aye votes.
Okay, by your vote, we've approved the minutes from Thursday, May 30th, 2024. And has Alderwoman Spencer joined us yet?
No, I do not see her.
Vice Chair Balmer, good morning. I'm sorry. Actually, Alderwoman Spencer and I are both on double duty. She just texted me. We're both on 2 calls, so she's heading over to this call as soon as
Okay, yeah, because if not, we could go to, we have some committee discussions we could start and interrupt, but how long do you think she's going to be? Did she say?
She said, she didn't say, but she didn't say. I'm sorry. I want to see if she takes us back by the time we're done with the discussion.
Okay, so we can go to, we have no resolutions for review. We'll come back to line item 4 and move to line item 6. We have a appointment to the Great Rivers Greenway. And do we have the appointees with us?
I'm showing
Brian Phillips, I see Brian, Emily Bernstein.
Yes, I see Miss Bernstein.
And Lisa Suggs.
Let's see. Okay.
We can start with.
I see Brian Phillips, Mr. Phillips.
Okay, we'll start with Mr. Phillips. We can always, as we've done in the past, we can go through with him and we can hold the others if they're not here till the next meeting. All right. With that, we will, Mr. Phillips, what I'm going to do is I have to swear you in for your testimony. You swear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. With that, please state your name for the record publicly, and then just give a little biography of yourself and why you would want to have this appointment.
Sure. My name is Brian Phillips. I am a city resident. I live in the West End neighborhood. I am interested in being a board commissioner for Great Rivers Greenway. I've worked with them in my professional role on the development of the new Brickline Greenway. Specifically, right now I am working with them to help advise them on equitable economic development on the northern section of the Greenway. I served as one of the initial task force members when the Greenway was being, the new Greenway was being proposed. In terms of my educational background, I am an urban planner by profession. I'm currently serving as the Assistant Vice Chancellor and Executive Director of the Washington University Medical Center Redevelopment Corporation, which is the partnership between BJC Healthcare and Washington University focused on the stabilization and revitalization of the neighborhoods surrounding the medical center campus. I've been involved with a number of neighborhood redevelopment efforts, currently chair the Park Central Board of Directors, sit on the Euclid South Community Improvement District as well.
All right, you had me at hello after all that. Thank you, sir. All right, with that, we will entertain questions or comments from the committee. Alderwoman Schweitzer, any comments or questions of the appointee?
Thank you, Chairman Vollmer. Hi, Mr. Phillips. Thank you for being here today. Your resume is quite impressive. I see it has some experience with working within the city of St. Louis too, and so your dedication to the city is noted and appreciated. Great Rivers Greenway, such an important board in the city of St. Louis. So many important projects happening. I always like to know what projects people are most excited about, or if there's something specific that you're excited to do with this board in particular, since obviously you're quite busy.
So with this one in particular, I've already been working with them and was part of the team that tried to convince them to create an equitable economic development position within their ranks. I saw the creation of the brick line, especially the brick line going along North Grand, as an opportunity to bring some economic vitality to that section in an equitable manner, to create spaces for local area businesses, local area residents to take more advantage of the Greenway and help with wealth creation within that area.
I really appreciate that. It's, we know from what other cities have done and what City of St. Louis can do, how important building those sorts of, cycling infrastructure and how much it helps areas, not just for people to get around, but also the economic aspect of it. And so I really appreciate those points. Well, I'm looking forward to supporting your appointment today, and I appreciate you taking the time to come and talk with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman Sonier, any questions or comments of the appointee?
I don't have any questions for you. It would have been, what are the projects going on? But I'm really glad that you are interested in doing. I would echo what Alderwoman Schweitzer said. I think Great Rivers Greenway is doing a project. And I actually just saw some really cool yesterday at some Juneteenth events along North Grand. There's like a lot of flags to signal their new path coming. And I think that's so exciting. I think that type of investment and connectivity and like really encouraging residents and people to enjoy nature, to take walks and creating those safe paths. I think those are all really great. So I'm just really excited to see your interest, and I look forward to, supporting your candidacy here. The only question I have for you is actually not about this board, but I saw that you're also on Park Central's board. Do you see, so in general, are you just very interested in just kind of like the development and what happens in the city, period?
So I'm like I said, I'm an urban planner by training. In my professional job, I've spent most of my career, which has been over 30 years, on community and economic development. Park Central, I'm actually a founder of the Park Central area, of the Park Central Board of Directors. And what I was, if I go back to 2001 to when they were created, I was one of about 4 individuals that were trying to push the consolidation of the CDCs within that nearest, within the Forest Park Southeast, the Central West End neighborhood, in order to build it up so that they would have the type of heft and depth through consolidation that you would see in other cities. I love to study how CDCs help benefit communities in other areas. And, and as a former city planner and as a former CDA employee that worked with the 20, at that time back in 93, the 29 different CDCs around the city, one of the challenges that they were experiencing was that they were so small. They usually only had 1 staff person. And so Park Central was our opportunity to demonstrate that if you build these entities to a level of scale, the sum is greater than the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Thank you. That completes my question.
All right, thank you very much. Alderwoman Bard, any questions or comments of the appointee?
Yeah, I'm real interested because I guess that's the new word, equity. That's the new buzzword that's going around in our city, but I don't see it in our city. And so when you say that you're looking for Great Rivers Greenway to have equity and development across, I see you stop at North Grand. So again, it's a North Quarter that hasn't been tapped into, and I'm just trying to find out when or how do people look, and you as being from 91 on, how do you look at broadening this? Because it's continuously, ironically, that area is being neglected from the North County side to the city side. So it's no attention given to that area. So everybody's hoopla about all these areas that are being focused on, and that area continuously is being neglected. So how would you see Great Rivers Greenway to broaden, because it is a bike trail on the North Riverfront, and Great Rivers Greenway started that and then it stopped. They did the chain of rocks. They did nothing with North Riverfront Park. And so, how do you, as a person that will sit on that committee, or do you have the power to broaden that view for the North Quarter?
I think that's a really good question. And one, I'm not a believer in silver bullets. I think that you have to bring a number of tools to the table in order to help stabilize a neighbor, help stabilize areas. I learned that in my own profession as, as we tackled the Forest Park Southeast neighborhood. I've been, working in that neighborhood for over 25 years. To get back to your question around, how do I see this happening? So if you look at greenways around the country, there's a direct correlation with the economic impact according to how far away you are from the greenway. So it's been proven that within a 500 foot radius of that greenway, you have an opportunity to really impact it from an economic development standpoint. We just not have seen that here in St. Louis. And so that was one of the reasons why, myself and a couple of other individuals approached Great Rivers Greenway about a year and a half ago to encourage them with the development of the brick line, to show by demonstration that if you were very intentional about, as you put this new infrastructure through, to try to put the tools and the things in place to encourage economic development along the corridor, then that's an opportunity. And I myself believe that, especially in when these pieces of infrastructure go through various communities, especially communities that have been disinvested in, I think when you start with how can you create opportunities for existing residents to first benefit from that, not only from a recreational standpoint, but for those that might be interested in maybe micro businesses and things of that nature. There's a lot of very inexpensive things that you can do in terms of activating spaces, especially in spaces where there's a lot of vacancy, for pop-up shops, or think about like a container, a storage container space for people to do micro enterprises and things of that nature. But you can also do really bigger things as development happens along that corridor. If you look at the Atlanta Brick Line, Greenway is a great example. They've built an entirely separate economic development corporation around that piece of infrastructure to encourage not only good development around it, but equitable development around it. You're also seeing this in other cities, like in Washington, D.C., the bridge, the new bridge that they built as a pedestrian bridge into the Anacostia neighborhood in Washington, D.C., which is an historically African-American section, in which they try to create opportunities for local folks to benefit first. And that's kind of my approach. And I think if we can just demonstrate that in one section of the Greenway, you should be able to start to duplicate that in other sections, including the North Riverfront, especially with what's about to happen in North County around that area with the zoos, new safari area, that whole area, which is basically, comes up to the city of St. Louis, is an opportunity for both entities to kind of build some synergy up there.
Thank you.
right. Any other questions, comments, Alderman Boyd?
No, that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And I have no questions or comments. Thank you very much for putting yourself out for the city, and we appreciate all your knowledge and look forward to working with you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. With that, we'll take each of these individually since we don't have. I'll entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Brian Phillips to the Great Rivers Greenway Metropolitan Park and Recreation District.
So moved.
Entertain a second.
Second,
Previous role.
previous row.
Hearing no objection, previous roll. Mr. Phillips, you have been approved. We'll take it to the full board for final approval. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Emily Bernstein, are you present? I see you. All right. You're unmuted. Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay. With that, please state your name, give us a short bio, and your reason for wanting to attain this position.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name's Emily Bernstein, and I am a city resident. I also work in downtown St. Louis. I am a senior vice president of development at the firm McCormick Barron Salazar. We primarily build affordable and mixed income housing in cities. We are a national developer. I do spend a large amount of my time working in St. Louis. And I'm really interested in joining Great Rivers Greenway Board. Also, as an urban planner by trade, I am. Let's see, what else? I'm a skeptic, but I'm also a doer, and I like to get things done that benefit our city and our residents. And I think that I have been able to participate just a little bit in some of the gatherings around the Brick Line, and it has made me hungry for more because I think that not only can I help really achieve what Great Rivers Greenway is setting out to do, but maybe even do it better. And I think that there are a lot of comparisons that are being made to different activations, different brick lines around the country. And St. Louis might be akin to those cities and those brick lines in some ways, but we're also different and we have unique challenges. I think we also have unique opportunities. So I'm excited by the opportunity to engage there.
All right. Thank you very much. With that, we'll go to the committee. Alderman Schweitzer, questions or comments?
No, at this time I don't have any. I appreciate the information you provided in your summary about the projects you are interested in and what's going on that you wanted to get involved. I see in your community involvement in your resume that you're on a lot of different boards. So obviously there's a lot of overlap in the work that you do as well. And I appreciate your interest in serving the community in this way.
All right. Thank you very much. Alderwoman Saunier, questions or comments?
Could you talk a little bit about the overlap between your work at McCormick Barron and the Great River and the work that you hope to do at the Great Rivers?
Yeah, sure. So I spend a lot of my days putting together financing and working on pre-development and construction around actual housing construction. And I think first and foremost, the opportunity to align brick lines and greenways and housing is extremely obviously exciting and impactful. But I think also, we find that at least in our communities, that a lot of our residents don't have bikes or access to bikes, or like there are other critical steps that need to happen in order for the greenways to truly be activated. So I'm excited about not only the ability to sort of activate the green line, but to bring on the follow-on development, and also really to make sure that the residents in those communities have what they need to take place in that development and that activation that's happening in their communities.
And do you know how long are you all's appointments for, the terms of your all's appointments? If you were to go through, do you know the term of those?
I actually don't. I cannot remember. Great question.
That's okay. Maybe someone else will have an idea on the call. And as a part of Great Rivers Greenway, I think what Alderwoman Boyd uplifted for the previous potential appointee was really important. Would you be a supporter and really lead conversations to make sure that the Greenway goes all through the entire city, including all of North St. Louis and that sort of connectivity?
Yes, very much so.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman. And Alderwoman Boyd, questions or comments of the appointee?
Emily, does Great and they probably do, but I'm just beating a dead horse. Do you know if Great Rivers Greenway has a multiple plan for the city as a whole? Because I'm seeing bits and pieces that they're doing, but do they have a master plan on what their goal is in regards to areas they're covering, when they targeting, how they're addressing it? Do you know if that's there?
I mean, you're hitting me at the beginning, not the end here. Of what I've reviewed, I think they do. I have sort of, skimmed through it and looked at the areas that interested me the most. But yes, I believe there is a fully comprehensive plan. And what I've seen and heard is that really they're taking development in like bite-sized pieces. So they're doing sections at a time. And I think that is always tough, right? Like when there's a long timeline and you're only setting out to accomplish so much in the first few years. I think it feels like it's going to be harder to get to what's scheduled for the future. So I think that's where, we come in to make sure that full plan is implemented.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Alderwoman. And Ms. Bernstein, thank you very much for your willingness to serve. With that, I will entertain a motion to appoint Emily Bernstein to the Great Rivers Greenway Metropolitan Park and Recreation District.
So moved.
Second.
Previous row.
Thank you. Hearing no objection, previous row. With that, Ms. Bernstein, you are approved, and we'll take you to the full board for final approval.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to leave if you like. Mr. Phillips, you are also willing to leave unless you like to stay for all this entertaining discussion we do here. All right. With that, is Lisa Suggs with us?
She's on
Yes,
here.
sorry,
Oh, yeah.
going to grab my camera.
No
Good morning,
worries. Okay, what we need you to do is first we have to swear you in. So please raise your right hand. You swear the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. With that, you will start off by stating your name for the record, your residency, and then why you would want to do this appointment. Thank you.
My name is Lisa Suggs. I live in the Shaw neighborhood. I've been a city resident for 43 years. Done lots of different things in the city, including, well, I was Democratic committee woman for 10 years in the 90s. It was a good time to be a Democrat, I'll say that. I have served as the president of the Shaw Neighborhood Improvement Association, and also more recently, as concerns the Greenway, I was on the steering committee. Initially, I started out in the Citizens Advisory Committee. Learned a lot about what was going on. At the beginning, it was Arch to Park, and then was asked to serve on the steering committee. And that was when I got really excited about the work that they were doing, because they went beyond Arch to Park and went from Tower Grove to Fairgrounds Park, which I think answers a lot of questions about some of the things I've heard Alderman Boyd ask about, the inclusion of the North City areas in the Greenway planning. So I know a little bit about what's going on. I have not been really involved for the last couple years, although I did I was asked to serve on a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee, which is an area I've been also professionally involved in. I'm a retiree of the Federal Reserve, and I was the diversity, equity, and inclusion lead there, working with employee resource groups and so on and so forth. So I'm really interested. I'm a bicyclist myself. I previously was very involved with TrailNet and chaired two of their first fundraisers that they had, like gala things. So I've been really involved in kind of the cycling community for probably 20 years. So I have a enduring interest and passion about helping St. Louis City be a better place to live for everybody. So that's about it.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move to the committee. Alderman Schweitzer, questions or comments of the appointee?
Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate the background and the interest you've shown. I'm looking at your resume and I can see the amount of time you've dedicated to both improving the cycling infrastructure and the organizations that support it, as well as the arts community. That's really interesting about the Shaw Arts Fair. I feel like there's such an overlap that is, the more pedestrian spaces and spaces for people that you build, and the more you bring art into those spaces as well, the more people want to be in those spaces. So I think that's a really neat kind of overlap for some of the interests that you've shown. And you answered some of my questions about the projects you're working on and what you do and what you bring. So I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to supporting your appointment.
Thank you very much, Alderwoman. All right, Alderwoman Saulnier.
I don't have too many questions. I think I'm just, happy to hear your interest, happy to hear your background a little bit. If I had a question, it would just be similar to uplifting what Alderwoman Boyd did. Just pushing for, making sure that we do put these pathways all over our communities, including in the north side of the city, and just want to know that that is something that you would advocate for.
I do actually. My mom went to Beaumont, my dad went to Central. So I have deep roots, north and south. I feel like as committee woman, I had a very global perspective on the work that I did. I was very engaged in making sure I was in all of those areas and I'm familiar with it. I also, as I mentioned, the work between Tower Grove and Fairgrounds and kind of making that connection, I think that's so important. I remember back when Shamel was mayor and they did the Kings Highway Bridge, and that was supposed to unite North and South City. And I mean, that's just, wallpaper on the problem. So yes, I'm personally very committed to making sure that North and South City are part of the plan and fully engaged.
Yeah, I think your point is great because yesterday I actually was at Fairground Park, and just even the disparities in tree placement in Fairground Park versus like in a Tower Grove Park or other parks in the south side of the city, it's like the disparities are so, I mean, you can't really argue that it's clearly, wrong and been an issue of disinvestment. So I'm glad that that perspective will be on the board. And I think the great thing about the Great Rivers Greenway is it's not just, a conversation. It is actual, it's giving communities actual sustainable pathways to enjoy nature, to be outside. And it is an actual investment and it can serve as a connection tool. So I just look forward to, your service on the board, and I appreciate your citywide perspective.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman Boyd, questions or comments of the appointee?
No, I don't have any questions. Just thank you, Lisa, for coming and showing that being just a regular person in the community has a bigger impact than people realize. And so you don't need all the horns and whistles to do the job. You just have to have the heart to care to move it on to the next page. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman. I have no questions. Again, thank you for your willingness to serve. Your resume is very, very, very nice. We will now entertain a motion to approve Lisa Suggs to the Great Rivers Greenway Metropolitan Park and Rec District.
So moved. Second, previous row.
Very good. Thank you very much. With that, Ms. Suggs, you are approved, and we'll take you to the final board for final approval. Thank you very much. You're welcome to leave and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
I see Ms. Spencer is still in another meeting, but she's with us. But let's get line item number 2. Yes.
I know we just finished that point, but a few people have sent me messages asking how long these appointments are for, and the mayor's letter about the term say through January 1st, 2027. So I just wanted to say that out loud for the group.
Thank you very much. You move to the front of the class. Thank you. All right, not to make Mr. Griffin wait, because I believe Alderman Spencer's board is going to take a little time. We will, while we're here, we'll take item number 2, the appointment or reappointment of Mr. Ronald C. Griffin to the Mental Health Board. Dr. Griffin, it says on your thing, it says Mr. Griffin, I apologize. We'll take the clerical error here and we'll have punishment doled out after the meeting. Okay, Dr. Griffin, if you could first, we have to swear you in. If you raise your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, with that, please state your name for the record, your area of residency, and then
Sure.
why you would want to do this job again.
Sure. My name is Dr. Ronald Griffin. I am a lifelong St. Louis City member, dweller, from going back to my grandparents and such. I am super happy to be here. My background is nursing. I'm a nurse by vocation, and I love the area and the space that I'm in currently. So I'm the Chief Operating Officer of People's Family of Corporations. If you know anything about that, you know Betty Jean Kerr had this wonderful vision of bringing healthcare services across the diaspora to the Central Corridor, which I believe that she's done that. And her son, Mr. Dwayne Butler, has kind of taken that and doubled down on it. And I'm saying that to say that community health is a lifelong commitment. And when you come into the space, it's the good that you want to do. You want to make the differences in the lives of others. And so if you know anything about me, I'm what you call a connector. And I think it's very important for our city to look at healthcare, the unhoused, substance use disorder, and other behavioral health issues as a public health emergency. So we need to get to that platform that we're not just putting Band-Aids on it, as I heard someone say earlier. I think that the Mental Health Board is doing everything that we can to make sure that we have responsible stewards in this behavioral health space that also meet the needs of not just our children and adolescents, but also the families and the unhoused. And I'm really happy and thrilled to be in my second year on this particular board. So thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. With that, we'll go to the committee. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the time you take to come here today. So do you work for St. Louis County now?
No, so so you haven't, that's probably from, my first term. So you don't have the updated CV. So I'm the Chief Operating Officer of People's Family of Corporations. Did work with St. Louis County as the Director of Clinical Services.
Okay, so you've moved over to a different job. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I wish you best of luck continuing on this board.
Oh, thank you so much.
I think Alderwoman Saunier.
Thank you for your interest and for your service. My mother is a nurse, and so I really appreciate and respect the work that it is, and especially right now, there's a lot going on in the healthcare industry, and I think this is a really difficult time to be a nurse right now. So thanks for your service in that way. My question is more so tied to, you mentioned that you're on the mental health board. Can you talk a little bit about the connection between that work and this work, and what are some of your goals for your next term?
So so I just want to make sure I understand your question. You're asking me how the current board that I'm on and how that relates to the work that I'm doing in this space now?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you. So first, we have a behavioral health unit attached to People's Family of Corporations, for which we do outreach and housing of those that are unhoused. We also do residential care for those who are displaced. We have a connection with the jails that we and juvenile services that we provide service and support. We have after-school programs that we pick kids up from school, and then we go through the battery of just being there for them, helping them and their parents reach that line that gives them the foundational support of behavioral health. So it's important And the reason why it's important to me is because my daughter has some behavioral health challenges, and in this space, you know, she was able to cope and work through it. But there's nothing like being a nurse and not seeing it. You know, I didn't see it growing up, the ADHD part. And I can speak openly about this because she's an advocate for it. And so that in itself, just things like that, make it super important for us to bridge the gap. So some of my goals are I wanted to branch out into daycare centers, right? I think it makes sense to give daycare centers the support that they need early on. Those are any pre-K organizations. We can identify what behavioral health looks like from an adolescent and pediatric standpoint. So I think that we have an opportunity of creating some groundswell around that particular population of patients, and then that'll help to matriculate them throughout their course of education. I think that's one of the things that I want to see more of, and then support for those mom and pop preschools and daycare centers.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. My only question is, and I think I have spoke to some of the staff with the mental health board, is I just think that that's good that what you all are doing from people's aspects, but I just think, again, as a city, mental health is not advocated enough in our communities, and so it's not addressed, as I will put it better. It's not addressed holistically, and so even in our schools, it's not addressed as it should be. And I just think the mental health board has been the quiet storm for a long time, and I think they need to come out more. They have just started reaching out to communities in my area to start asking and try to get some kind of listening sessions in regards to where people are. But what you're saying is true, but it's just not happening. And I just think we're behind the times in regards to addressing mental health and making people understand that it's okay to not be okay. And so they just starting doing that. And I just think it needs to be more of that in our community.
I would agree with that. With this caveat, there are actions that are happening right now in the community from a real-time standpoint, and we really need to collaborate as agencies. So not just the People's Health Centers or the Affinias or the Family Care or Care STL, but all of the grassroots organizations as well that's doing work in this space. Alderwoman Boyd, I think that it's important for us to push the message, and I would agree, there is not enough attention in these spaces. What I have done on the mental health board is all of the recipients, I go and visit the recipient sites to see if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be fiduciaries as well as vetting everybody that we give funding to. And I need to see that they're doing the things that they say they're going to do. If they're not, then that's probably going to be something that I discuss with my peers as well in our board meetings. So I would agree with that. And I'm open to leading the charge of getting more information out for our behavioral health. I know here at People's Health Center, and this is not a commercial for us. I know that we're really abound in this space, and we want to support anything in any ward by any alder person that has, if you want us to come, we'll come. And then then we offshoot that with getting the support from the mental health board to be able to support and fund some of these initiatives. So I would agree, ma'am.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman. Doctor, thank you very much for willing to continue to serve on this board. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve Dr. Ronald C. Griffin to the Mental Health Board.
So moved. Second. Previous row.
Hearing no objection, previous row, we will have now approved Dr. Ronald C. Griffin to the Mental Health Board to go to the full Board of Aldermen for final approval. Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome to leave.
And
thank you for your time. Yes, sir.
And I would like to apologize for last month's mishap. So please accept my apology for not being present.
No worries. We're all human beings here. It happens. No
Thank
worries.
you so much.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, with that, Alderwoman Spencer is here. Are you free from your other meeting, Alderwoman? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I am doing double duty here this morning in two committees. We have our SLDC board meeting here this morning as well. So my apologies. I've got that in my other ear.
No worries. I'll recognize you first on Board Bill number 36. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, Board Bill number 36. This board bill essentially removes Chapter 11, Section 28 from our city code. You know, it was brought to my attention that the city of St. Louis has some frankly archaic and unutilized laws regulating abortions in the city of St. Louis. I want to first say that these are really harken back to the 40s and 70s when these bills were first put in place. They haven't been enforced in a very, very long time. This chapter of our city code is just one that is just sitting out there. But the reason and the impetus behind removing them from our city code is really that they could actually cause problems, even though our city health department hasn't been enforcing them. You know, given the state initiative that we expect to pass this November, I think, you know, having these on the books could really present some legal potential challenges for the city and some issues for us moving forward. I've spoken to our health department. We have a couple advocates I'd like to turn the platform over to, but I want to first, you know, I want to also kind of on the front end just say that this should not change anything within the city of St. Louis, what we do and don't regulate, whether or not abortions become something that Missourians can have access to. This should not really be about abortion rights, but really what we do, what we are regulating in the city of St. Louis. All of the licensing and other things that are addressed here in these old non-utilized laws are handled at the state level. While it may seem on the front end like we may want to leave in place some licensing for facilities and that sort of thing, anytime you have a medical facility that is in serving the community, those are overseen by the state of Missouri. All these laws are really on top of what the state of Missouri would or would not do. So they're really not necessary. Like I said, having them on the books really just presents an opportunity for anti-abortion members of the community to file suit, to require that we do things that we're not doing, we haven't done, we have no intention of doing, and they really create unnecessary burdens for medical facilities that, you know, may be able to legally function in the state of Missouri once again. With that, I'd like to turn it over. We have a couple of folks here from the community that I believe have provided some testimony by written form. Do we have folks, Madam Clerk, or Madam Clerk, do we have folks signed up?
Yes, I have a Miss Margaret.
Margot, Rip Hagan from Planned Parenthood. Okay. And then we should have a Miss Mallory Schwartz as well. So if you don't mind, I'll start with Miss Rip Hagan from Planned Parenthood.
Alderwoman, if I could, before she speaks as acting chair, I have to swear her in.
Yes, please. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. If you are unmuted, please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Thank you.
Okay, for the record, state your name and your position, and then you may proceed. Will you be questioning her, Alderman Spencer, or is she just making a statement?
Mr. Chair, that would be up to you. I mean, I think, you know, I think it's important, you know, this can be kind of somewhat of a confusing issue. So if members of your committee have questions.
I'm confused already, so it's okay.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, you're always confused.
Thank you. All right. Okay.
Good morning.
Ms. Rip Hagan, please proceed. Again, state your name first and proceed.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Margot Riphagen. I am the Vice President of External Affairs for Advocates of Planned Parenthood of the St. Louis region and Southwest Missouri. Good morning, members of the Health and Human Development Committee. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you today in support of BB 36, repealing ordinance numbers 56729 and 56579. Planned Parenthood of the St. Louis region has 9 health centers, 2 of which operate within the city of St. Louis. Planned Parenthood stays open 6 days a week, so health centers can offer sexual and reproductive health services critical to maintaining healthy communities, including family planning, cancer screenings, STI testing, and hopefully in the near future, resuming abortion care. As with all Planned Parenthood health centers, their mission is to remove barriers and make healthcare as accessible as possible, no matter what. Planned Parenthood's goal is to ensure that working families and those who otherwise cannot make it to the doctor because of whatever barriers are in front of them can still access the high-quality health care that they deserve. We also know that the care that Planned Parenthood provides aligns with our city's values. I'm here to talk to you today about this bill because the city ordinances before us do not reflect the values of our city. Now is the time to repeal this antiquated city code, which should be removed from the books. The bill in front of us would remove a series of medically inaccurate statutes that have existed and haven't been enforced because they haven't been needed to, as Alderman Spencer referred to, for decades. With the 2-year anniversary of the overturn of Roe in front of us this weekend, this is also the time to act. As a longtime provider of reproductive health care in the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri, Planned Parenthood is committed to continuing to provide high-quality care in accordance with state and local regulations, as Planned Parenthood always has. The existing regulations in the state of Missouri cover the health and safety of Missourians who seek care, and the bill in front of us would simply remove antiquated language that is not necessary to ensure the safety of patients. We appreciate your support in removing the politically motivated language addressed in Board Bill 36. Thank you.
All right. Members of the board, Alderman Schweitzer, questions or comments of the speaker?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Alderman Spencer, for bringing this forward, and Margot and everyone who's been championing figuring out how to make Missouri a place where it's safe to get a safe abortion. And I appreciate the effort of going through the city codes and ordinances to find any way the city can be a place that it's setting up a legal framework to do so. So I've read the bill. I understand what is happening here and appreciate the feedback that everyone has given so far. And I will be happy to support. Madam Clerk, if you can please add me as a co-sponsor.
Noted.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman Saunier. Alderwoman Saunier, are you with us? We'll come back to her. Alderwoman Boyd, any questions or comments?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that presentation you gave, and thank Alderwoman Spencer. And so sometimes I feel like an old lady in a shoe. They got so many children, don't know what to do. Because I think what Alderwoman Spencer has said is what I have been preaching forever, that this city was built in the 1800s by men that had no respect for women or their rights in those years. And so that's where these laws originated from. And so that's good that we're looking at addressing these issues and starting to bring us up again to the 21st century. So until we bring our city up to where we are in the realistic world, things won't get better for us as a city. So thank you very much, and I appreciate this, and I support it, and I'd like to be a co-sponsor.
Noted.
All right, please make note of that. Alderwoman Saunier, you're back with us. There you are. Your turn. Questions or comments of the speaker?
I just really appreciated your comments. I think it's that being pro reproductive justice and reproductive access is something that most of myself and my colleagues all really agree on and share. So just thank you for coming before us today and being here. And I would also like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Noted.
All right. Thank you very much. Please make note of that. Okay. With that, I have no questions or comments of you, Mr. Cogden. So you are welcome to stay and listen. We have another speaker, Alderwoman Spencer.
We do. We do have another speaker. Miss Mallory Schwartz is here as well.
Okay, Ms. Schwartz, if you would mind, please unmute. Raise your right hand. I have to swear you in as part of our actions here. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, with that, please start off by stating your name publicly in the record, and then you can take off.
Thank you. My name is Mallory Schwartz. I'm the Executive Director of Abortion Action Missouri. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today in support of Board Bill 36. Abortion Action Missouri works to protect and expand every Missourian's right to bodily autonomy, to access essential reproductive health care, and to access accurate information in order to make the best decisions for ourselves and our families. Our mission is to grow a Midwest movement to ensure stigma-free abortion access and reproductive freedom for all. As has been stated, this bill would repeal a litany of anti-abortion, medically inaccurate, and stigmatizing regulations on abortion care, statutes that have existed and gratefully not been enforced for decades. We are currently approaching the 2-year anniversary of the U.S. Supreme Court Dobbs decision that overturned Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey, 2 decisions creating a federal right to abortion. On that day, Missouri became the first state to enact a total abortion ban. Even before that, in Missouri, when state restrictions on abortion had made it virtually impossible for Missourians to access abortion services, St. Louis stood as a bastion, the home of the last clinic in the state offering abortion care. The city ordinances being addressed today, which include dictations on closing hours and even an age restriction beyond anything present in state law, are clear examples of government interference in medicine and not aligned with the values of our city. It is not unreasonable to think that all medical care should be subject to safety regulations. However, these regulations, like many attacks at the state level, are not about protecting individual safety, but only restricting access to care. The existing healthcare regulations that govern all medical practice still apply to the clinics and hospitals that would offer abortion care within our city and were created by medical professionals. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists and the American Medical Association, 2 governing bodies of physicians that provide abortions, are steadfast in their opposition to government interference in the practice of medicine. The regulations addressed in this bill today are a clear example of this interference and not necessary to ensure the safety of patients. This body has a history of taking bold action for reproductive freedom, despite the politically motivated attacks at the state and federal level. This body has a history of looking ahead and asserting and reaffirming the values of St. Louisans to be able to make the best decisions for themselves and their families and our community. In 2021, the Board of Aldermen passed the Declaration of Reproductive Freedom 6 months ahead of the enactment of Missouri's total abortion ban. And when the Dobbs decision came down in 2022, this body passed the Reproductive Equity Fund to support community members forced to flee our state to access care. This year, we will have the opportunity to end Missouri's abortion ban. And today, you have another opportunity, thanks to Alderwoman Spencer, to be innovative leaders, further establishing St. Louis as a safe haven city for reproductive health care and preparing for a future of access for all Missourians. Advancing this bill is a critical piece of that aim. And as such, Abortion Action Missouri, with more than 20,000 members across the city, urge you to advance this policy today. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, thank you, Ms. Schwartz. We will move on to Alderwoman Schweitzer. Questions or comments of the speaker?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. And Mallory, thank you for being here today. I want to take this opportunity just to thank you publicly for all that you did to get those petitions delivered in such abundance on time, and just knowing all of the work that went into getting that on the ballot. You know, I really can't overstate the gratitude I have for you and everyone who did everything they did to make that happen. So thanks for being here today to speak on this as well. And thank you for all that you have done for our city and will continue to do for our state.
Thank you, Alderwoman. That's very meaningful to me.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman Schweitzer. We will, Alderwoman Saunier, questions or comments of the speaker?
Thank you so much. If I have to yell, I'm not yelling at anyone on the committee. I'm yelling at my cat. I just thank you, Ms. Schwartz, for being here today. You know, I really am a huge supporter of the work that you all do at Abortion Action Missouri. I think this is just an incredible bill. When I was just kind of researching and reading through the things that Alderwoman Spencer is repealing in it, it was honestly shameful to me that some of these things are in our codes. It was a little bit of a surprise to me and also shameful. So I'm just glad that we are doing it, and I appreciate you taking the time for being present today, and appreciate you for all the work that you're doing. And I'm wishing you all of the luck with your, you know, with the bigger initiative that's going on across the state. And I'm looking forward to more conversations about what we can do to make our city a place of reproductive justice for everyone.
All right. Thank you very much, Alderwoman. Alderwoman Boyd. Questions
No
or comments?
questions. No, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I have no questions or comments either. With that, Alderwoman Spencer or anyone else to speak?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I mean, I just want to thank the members of the committee for speaking on this. Again, just taking the time to read through it and understand the ins and outs of it, while kind of removing licensure and other things can seem like it could be questionable. This is obviously, just kind of paving the way, making sure that we're in the, entering the 21st century and ready for the statewide initiative that so many advocates especially these two women here today have led the charge on pushing forward in our state. I'm very grateful for the work that they've done and the work that so many volunteers throughout our city and our state have done to get this initiative on the ballot and hopefully through the finish line here. And I think this is just a really great step in the right direction for our city to be prepared for that. And to make our city a place of reproductive freedom. So with that, I'll ask for favorable consideration from the Committee on Board Bill 36.
All right, thank you very much, Alderwoman. With that, I'll entertain a motion to pass Board Bill 36 out with a do pass recommendation.
So
moved.
Second, previous roll.
We have an objection, previous roll, so Aura, please call the roll. That's me.
Alderman Vollmer,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tanya,
Aye.
Chair Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus. We have 1 present and 3 aye votes.
Okay, by your vote, we have passed out Board Bill 36 with a do pass recommendation to the full board. I thank everyone for your attendance today. We will now go to, do we have any acknowledgement of written testimony or in our record?
No, I have nothing.
All right, announcements. I have none. Any members of the committee have any announcements? All right, that's a good thing. All right. Excuse Alderman, we'll excuse the Alderman Boyd, you raised your hand. I guess I can recognize you as the chair. Okay, go ahead.
No.
You're going like this, you waving by?
No. No, I just wanted to thank Alderman Balmer as usual. He's my hero because he always steps up when I'm in a disaster mode.
No worries.
Thank you, Alderman Balmer, for stepping up for me.
No worries. Okay. We'll excuse the Alderman from the 12th for necessary absence. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Well, I need a motion.
No.
I mean, so moved.
Second.
All right. And with that, previous roll is fine. I can vote present on adjourning too. We have enough votes to get it out. So thank you guys all very much. The meeting is now adjourned. Say goodbye to the goose.
Goodbye, Goose.
All right.